It's Pride Night and the kickoff to Copa Tejas here at Toyota Field in San Antonio as San Antonio FC hosts the El Paso Locomotive. A pleasant good evening to you. I'm Carl Schoening filling in for Dan Weiss along with Katie Goodman. We're happy you joined us this evening on Bally Sports Southwest. And Katie, they tuned into a good one as this is the battle for second place in USL Championship's Western Conference.
That it is, and it's going to be a really physical game. Fireworks will be seen from league-wide, so it's definitely one that you want to tune into. It's really coming down to the wire here. This is the exact time and place that these teams want to be fighting for those higher-ranked positions as they move throughout the season.
Lucho and Los Locos are certainly having a great season after starting off 0-3 on the year. They're unbeaten in their last 10 matches, and they've won 7 straight.
Unbeaten thanks to Lucho. He can pretty much put it away from any part of the field, but, you know, it's a team that has done leaps and bounds of improvements since last season, and it's just really excited to see what they're going to do tonight. Of
course, Alan Marcina prides himself on a balanced and direct attack. While Danny Oluwaseyi is not going to be playing tonight due to a red card suspension, it's still great to know that he has plenty of players who can help out. 23 goals scored from 11 different SAFC players.
That's right, including Rita Zuhir on his debut here at Toyota Field. Put it away, followed up there by Fabian Garcia, center back, and then Mitch Tainer putting it in here for Oluwaseyi, who will not be here tonight, as you had mentioned. But again, anyone can put it in from anywhere, including the Mitch Tainer, as you see here, places it securely in the back of the net. A lot of these guys, anywhere on the pitch, can put it away, and so they're just stacked, this SAFC team.
It's going to be a clash between two styles, as obviously the Locomotive like to maybe slow things down while a lot fewer passes are going to happen on SAFC's side of things. But we are ready to have a fun one here tonight as the sun will be set about 30 minutes after kickoff. We're going to have the starting 11 and kickoff from Toyota Field when we come back on Bally Sports Southwest. San Antonio FC Soccer is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Carl Schoening along with Katie Goodman. We're moments away from kickoff here at Toyota Field between the Locomotive and San Antonio FC. Here's how Brian Clairhout's team will line up for El Paso Locomotive as Benny Diaz gets the start between the pipes. They run a 4-3-3, and that's really led to a lot of success in their last 10 matches, unbeaten 7-game winning streak they come into.
Yes, and they've done a great job of changing formation even mid-game. They have just a really adaptable team, so you can expect to see a little bit of that too.
Alan Marcina in his 5th year with San Antonio FC. will have Sam Adeniran starting in place of Tami Uluwashei as Jordan Farr gets to start behind the pipes. You have wingbacks of Tainter and Manley, and Maloney and Garcia there in the back line as Gomez, Hernandez, Abu, and Zuhir are across midfield.
And again, so many different lineups throughout this season, and it really doesn't matter. San Antonio FC stays unfazed as they have tons of depth to pull from for this team.
These two teams have a little bit of fan pride on either side, as the last 2 years they have won Copa Tejas Shields. SAFC picking up a 4-0-1 record last season, and then El Paso 7-2-2 in 2021. So these two teams would like to have another shield added to their trophy books. There you see Coach Clairhout ready to lead his team, as it'll be the Locomotive getting the kickoff. San Antonio FC in their home striped black and white kits. Mitchell Tainter leading things as he has the captain's sleeve today. Already ready to go on the other side in formation are the Locomotive.
Leading the team, definitely something that Tainter does well. Injured, missed a couple of games earlier this season, and you could tell the difference. He brings a certain intensity and structure in the back line, and that his presence definitely felt in the box, as you saw in that highlight reel leading into the game. He could put it away just as easy as any of the attacking players, and so every single player on this pitch dangerous from SAFC. But again, we've got this El Paso team. They've got quite a bit of rhythm going, and there's a couple of teams here that both want to end streaks. SAFC wants to end the streak for El Paso, and El Paso wants to get that trophy back and end that, you know, winless streak against SAFC.
Exactly. 0-3-1 in the last 4 matches are the Locos against San Antonio FC. Our center official tonight is Alexis De Silva, assistants Mike Nickerson and Ethan Bouget, and our 4th official is Velimir Stefanovic. Very quick attempt to maybe try and take a page out of the SAFC playbook. The Locomotive get it right back here on a throw, trying to maybe develop something a bit more methodical.
And as we'd mentioned, it would be a physical game, and we see a little bit of that early on.
And a foul here to slow up the action. Actually, I believe they're going to call this foul on Zuhir, and a free kick, as Zuhir was a little too physical trying to win possession.
A little too physical, and might have had a handball in the mix as well. Definitely something that El Paso wants here, to have this ball back in their possession. That's half the battle with SAFC, is just getting the ball back. Question is, can they keep it? Can they make something happen? Can they play their game here in this situation? It's a nice give and go there.
Yeah, Benny Diaz kept it on his back line, and they quickly worked down touch, and now taking it towards midfield.
Doing a great job of moving the ball side to side here. And Carl, you'd mentioned earlier that also they're one of those teams likely to slow things down, and I think that's what we're seeing a little bit here, just finding lots of patience, trying to find the seams. Something that's not so easy against a team like SAFC.
Maloney got it back to Manley, and then Manley not on the same page as who he was trying to get a long pass out to, as it gets to the feet of Benny Diaz. Diaz on loan from Tijuana. He's done a great job in goal this season. And he also overshoots his intended target, as looking for an early touch there to Gomez. Jordan Farr gets his first touch of the evening, rolls it out to Manley for the direct SAFC attack here, staying on side, no flag up, all the way down, and not able to really get anything developed out of there, but a corner kick, the first one of the evening here for SAFC.
Exactly what SAFC wants here. Another opportunity to dictate play, dictate pace, and anytime you can win a couple corners early on, it kind of just sets a tone. And so let's see what they're able to make happen here.
Justin Dillon was unable to get a play off, but his pressure leads to this corner kick here. Hernandez sends it towards the top of the 6. Under the backside, headed for a goal. 1-0, SAFC.
Mitch Tainer does it again. We had said it earlier. Anyone on this pitch can score the goal. And he was at the right place at the right time. Fantastic service there from Jorge. Wouldn't expect anything less, but hey, let's take a look back at this here. It goes over, perfect arch. Tainer gets on the end of it. There's nothing Keep could have done about it there.
This could not have been placed more perfectly on the cross into what I like to call the corridor of confusion. And the header right there clears things up for Mitch Tainer. And SAFC off to an early lead in the 4th minute.
And if there's anything we know about SAFC, it's that when they score early, the odds are against their teammates. Now, it's a little bit different there against San Diego Loyal. They had a 3-0 lead, which under unfortunate circumstances, San Diego made a comeback, but talk about a game full of drama and energy. Let's see if they can get back to their winning ways here after this.
That was actually the first time in club history that SAFC had a 3-0 lead and did not come away with the victory. I'll give you the stat on how well SAFC has done in the last couple of years when they score first, but we have a play in the box that's cleared out nicely. Physical fight for the ball leads to a stoppage here, and it'll be a free kick in a dangerous spot. SAFC just scoring off of one set piece. They have a chance here at the edge of the attacking third.
Nothing there to me looked too malicious. Just looked like a bit of confusion. Multiple people going for the ball. Bit of a body check maybe coming from Jorge. But looks like it's going in SAFC's favor on this one.
William Rose was the one called for the foul there. You see a lot of fans thinking that that was a potential yellow card. I think that was just a collision between 3 players, and Rose unfortunately catches the tough side of the call, and now SAFC trying to add on to their 1-0 lead.
Right, sometimes the balls run of play and the player looks like he might have advantage and gets knocked off the ball. That's when they get it.
Suhir and Hernandez will line up for this free kick. Everybody lined up with the penalty arc. Suhir goes for goal, and it's nicely caught there by Benny Diaz as he had to navigate that through the wall.
Anytime Suhir takes a free kick, lots of people hold their breath because his first goal came from a free kick drilled into the lower 90. So much pace on it, went right by the keeper on that one, but not so lucky here in that last opportunity.
How about this stat for you, Katie? The 19 goals scored by the Locomotive have all been in open play, not on set pieces, corners, etc.
That's extremely impressive because that means it's a team that you really can't take your eyes off of. And I've took the time to watch a little bit of game tape, and they really and truly are a team that can score from anywhere. They're great out of the air. They're great at outside the box. I mean, it's a team that keeps you on your toes, and that's why they're in 2nd place right now, because they're pretty unpredictable.
Foul near midfield will lead to a free kick here for Los Locos. Diagonal pass, Lucho gets the touch, Manley harassing him. Abu will hit him in the face as he raises an elbow, and I think this might be a call for a yellow card, and it is shown. Abu, one of the heart and soul players of this team, maybe just lost control of his elbow there.
Yeah, anytime you've got that elbow up a little high, hand over the shoulder a bit, you can expect a yellow. And, tension's getting high here. We said this is what it was going to come down to, and that's just a little sneak peek.
Cavillo waiting for the go-ahead. Also in the area, Borelli. Along the 18, Los Locos looking for an equalizer in the 8th minute. They'll move it towards the penalty arc, a chip, and cleared out by Mitchell Tainter, as that one didn't quite develop the way Los Locos wanted.
Good work there from Tainer, but what a nice chip over the back line. Had Tainer not read that one, it would have been quite a bit of trouble there for Farr.
The throw, walking deeper into the attacking third here for Los Locos. Morelli. Headed out by Tainter, bounces around, and Tainter sends it towards Adeniran. Adeniran wants to get a through ball here, nicely done. And the flag comes up though as Dylan called offside.
Flag up there for Dylan, extremely unfortunate. Almost want to have to look back at that one because such a close call there. Maybe just a half step off.
Seems like they were going to let him go for just a second, then he decided against letting Dylan have a one-on-one almost. You mentioned at the top that this is going to be a physical match, and I feel like here in the 9th minute we've already seen several fouls.
That we have, and another call there for Abu Mohammed. Definitely one of those guys who does not want to get a second yellow, because SAFC goes down a player, it's potentially game over for them.
Shannon Gomez almost had an amazing head pass to Adeniran. Maloney uses his head, and it's picked up here by Rose to send it to his back line. And a last touch there by SAFC. Throwing flag favors Los Locos. Navarro gets it right back. Playing tight down the sideline. Castashin.
That's some nice combinations coming from El Paso down this right side, but you know, if you spend too much time playing tiki-taka, SAFC, their team, they're known to close it down with the quickness.
Zakaria sends it all the way back to Diaz. Diaz under pressure. Dylan had to get rid of that a little quicker than he wanted. Maloney now pressuring. It's Gomez. Nice dribbling skill all the way back to Diaz. Who'll have to do something quick with it. And nice diagonal pass over to the left side. McHugh. And McHugh looking for an outlet. Far out of the box, can't use his hands, and now an open goal and an easy score. We're tied up at 1.
That looked offsides to me. That looked offsides all day long, but the sideline referee said no.
And Aaron Gomez takes advantage of it.
Let's have a look back at this goal. Great goal nonetheless. Good job there. Some composure. Unfortunately, Far came a little bit too far outside the box and got the best of him there. Not a ton you can do in those situations. Far really not too happy about it.
Yeah, you know, it looks like Far really wanted to grab that, but then he realized he was not where he could, and Aaron Gomez gets the goal.
We'll say, though, that that ball definitely looked offside, so much so it had the back line fooled, but, you know, that's why you can't rely on the sideline ref. You gotta go after it no matter what because of little moments like that. So really unlucky there for SAFC. Question is, can they get it back? Can they get that same gusto that they had when they started this whole thing out?
Gomez with his first goal of the season ties us up at 1, and now Diaz taking his time, not asking his back line to push up as he line drives this one across the center circle. Broken up there by Connor Maloney. Tainter keeps it away from a couple Los Locos, and a nice job on an outlet here. A chip into the crossbar and over, as I think Zuhair really thought that that one was about to bend a little bit more, and that'll be a missed opportunity for SAFC. And both teams pulled the trigger on their shots. That one outside the box.
But what a fantastic first touch there, laying it out for himself. Great idea going for the chip. Just had a little bit too much oomph on the end of it. 19-year-old Rita Zuhair really stepping up big here. Only 4 matches played, 2 goals so far. Putting in good work in true recruit fashion. If you know anything about SAFC, they bring a new player on the pitch and you can expect something interesting to happen, typically a goal.
Rita Zuhair was a Week 13 player, Team of the Week, and obviously he'd like to keep building off of his hot success. Hernandez on the attack. Defense collapses on him, and then it's a cross that's knocked into the end line, and a corner here for SAFC. They scored on their last corner, and it looks like Hernandez, who did the honors last time, will allow this one to be taken by Zuhir.
Not a bad decision there from Jorge. Rather than forcing it, working to get the corner kick, something he's really good at.
Zuhir using every inch of space he can. Trying to pinpoint this pass. Skies it towards back post. Headed out. Maloney's there to receive. Recycles the service towards the 6. Headed into the back of the net. Flag is up though as Dylan almost had a highlight reel goal, but he was past the last defender.
Oh, poor Justin Dillon. He has been working and working to get a goal all season long, and it almost every time comes from being offside. Let's look at this. That to me didn't really look offside. I mean, if you're not going to call that last goal offside, I feel like that was not a great call on the flip.
On that recycled service there by Maloney, a great pass, but just obviously a bit of a nice job by the back line for Los Locos to get that offside. Second one called on SAFC, and a yellow card shown here as Mitch Tainter was shoved to the grass, and looks like Navarro was the one who picked up the yellow, although they showed it to a member of the back line, and it will be Navarro who will be the one who moves up. Navarro is a member of that back line. He was playing way up there as Tainter will do the honors on this free kick. Long send looking for Shannon Gomez, and Benny Diaz hops to keep it away there from Justin Dillon.
I mean, we have to give Justin Dillon a round of applause on that diving header. How often do you get to go to a game and see a diving header like that? Somebody laying their body out completely. And he, I think, a lot of the guys on this pitch are so deserving of a goal.
That time around, Zacharias was a little too physical, fighting off for the ball, and it's like deja vu here as Tainter just a few yards away from where he just had his last free kick. Sends this one way too long. Diaz doesn't have to work hard. They are working a bit more directly as Gomez has the touch here and then plays it back towards the defensive half. And Zuhir too physical, trying to get the tackle. Cavillo thought about a quick restart. Instead, he'll take his time. Looking for a great pass. Cavillo. There's Zacharias. Lucho had it taken away from him by Hernandez.
Solid defensive recovery there from Hernandez. Locomotive a bit of a run for their money. Something that SAFC does so well, that trickle effect of hustle.
Talk about hustle. Hernandez there gets tuffled up, and oh man, I think that can spark a little bit of a rivalry tonight with him and Liam Rose, as he's all smiles, Hernandez, and I think the foul will eventually go against him. But how many times are we going to say this is a physical match tonight? Because they certainly are playing like second place is on the line.
Right, I mean, we'll probably say it so often that if you're listening on the other side, you could probably have a drinking game going on, right? How many times will the commentators say yellow or physical match? But, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? SAFC is great at stopping plays, slowing things down, and then picking right back up with the quickness. El Paso, on the other hand, they want to keep it slow.
The switch of the pitch there, and then the through ball goes awry as Navarro was looking to hit somebody on the run. Easy enough for Farr here. 18th minute, halfway through. Farr with a long send, testing the back line. Maloney thought about a cross, but it's knocked into touch. Good defensive effort there by Borelli.
Justin Dillon always doing a great job of getting on the end of it. Quite a bit of height on him. Makes for an ominous forward presence. You got Connor Maloney with that never-ending engine there to try to get on the end of it. Of course, we've got Carter Mainley back in the mix, someone we haven't seen much of this season, battling injury, and so he'll take the presence here.
Manley with the throw towards the 6, and easily sent away there. Right back into service there by Tainter. It'll ricochet around before it's picked up by Hernandez. And nice chip here. Looking for it is Dylan. Dylan slides towards the 6, and then it's sent away. Good rotation defense over to save that from being goal by McHugh.
What a chip. That is some quality stuff. We're going to have to watch that back. Look at this quality Jorge is bringing to the pitch. Justin Dylan doing everything he can to get on the end of it. And El Paso says, no, I don't think so. Big thanks there to Eric McHugh, doing a fantastic job of just picking up the pieces.
Dylan heads it towards the 6, and this time it's cleared out pretty easily. And whistle stops play. Well, the ball was in midair. It looks like a second ball came onto the pitch, so we'll go with the one here at the feet of Diaz. Diaz has been keeping it short most of the night. This time he elects to send it towards center circle. Lucho has the defense collapse on him. Tainter chips it forward. Abu's there to take the loose ball. Looking for the top of the 6, and Adeniran was there on the run, but Diaz cuts him off on the catch.
You can see what they're trying to do with it there. Great work there from Abu, bringing that ball down with quality and trying to get something going. And again, each and every one of these players on this SAFC side with a great first touch.
Foul called there on Fabian Garcia as he goes through the back and against this evening.
Right, 6 goals and an assist on this sheet so far. Just a real game changer here for El Paso. And if you notice, he hasn't been extremely productive yet so far, but they have been very much so on the right side. And so that's the thing when you have a team like El Paso that doesn't just have one superstar there in Lucho, but a couple who can put it away. You don't want to, you know, let your attention stray to just the one guy you've got circled on the sheet. And I think that might be a part of what happened in that last goal.
Luis Solognac, also known as Lucho, former Golden Boot winner here in San Antonio back in 2020. Really found a home in El Paso as he scored 22 goals to lead the team last year. And as we mentioned, he's had a pretty good start to this year in 11 appearances, 6 goals. So far, it seems like a big game plan for Alan Marcina's club is to make sure he doesn't get any clean touches. Manley sends that one into the stands. Another throw for Los Locos. Adeniran couldn't quite get his touch on it. It'll bounce around as Abu tries to send it towards the back line. Maloney playing forward. Abu looking for an opportunity. Zuhir bounces around a couple heads of Los Locos, as keeping that one away from Benny Diaz. Eric McHugh got the first touch, but it goes cross in line. Third corner kick of the night for SAFC. Rita Zuhir. Sends it across and cleared out of the box. Zuhir able to recover. We're going to go towards the goal line. Zuhair sends it back in, and then it goes across the inline, last touch by SAFC. Actually, they call another flag against SAFC, so that'll be the end of that threat for SAFC.
Looks like that's just going to be the nature of the beast tonight, and when you know that you're working with a ref who is really, really diligent about those offsides calls, you just have to be diligent right back, and you have to err on the side of obvious, unfortunately.
Both teams having pretty good seasons so far defensively, while SAFC has the league leaders first and second, Lamar Batista first, and Fabian Garcia second clearances. Here's a dead end in the attack third. Looking for a cross off the head of Dylan, and then knocked away by Diaz. Leads to a corner.
Sam Adeniran with the acrobatics, despite slipping, he was able to still get ahead on the end of it. Let's look at this here. Comes to him, he takes a slip, and he says, I gotcha. I'm just gonna do a little bit of a volley and then still send it in. Good on Dylan getting on the end of it, but denied once again. Good work there from Benny Diaz, stretching out long, getting on the end of it. You know, we talk about breaking streaks and curses and all kinds of things, and I think for Dylan, it's going to be getting that first goal this season, just to open the floodgates, so to speak.
Hernandez will wait for his opportunity to send it in here as Garcia is fighting for some space.
Both two very expressive guys at the moment, trying to demonstrate something.
SAFC already scoring on one corner. This one headed out, and recycling is Shannon Gomez, skies it over the crossbar.
Skies it, but I like the effort there. Had a bit of a buckle, odd spin on it. We can take a look back at it here. It's hard to get your leg up in that direction. The ball in itself had a spin. Waiting for it to come down. I think that's some quality stuff there. Just a little too high.
Well, you're not going to score if you don't shoot, and SAFC leads that shot battle, as you saw a moment ago, now by one more, 6-1 in terms of shots. Of course, the only shot so far by Los Locos went in, as Aaron Gomez tied this one up at 1. Mitch Tainter with the opening goal on a corner. 4th minute of this match. Maloney has a little bit of space. Abu looking for Shannon Gomez on the long send, and decides to go to the other side where Zuhair has some space to work. Maloney to the 6 off the foot of Dylan, and then I think that one will be a tough call either way. It goes across the end line, and a corner kick for SAFC.
Attribute a lot of that to Connor Maloney's never-ending engine there, going up the sideline. Just good work.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell where they were going to give it. They called off of Pavkovic, and now Hernandez with another chance on the corner. Los Locos back line communicating, done a great job drawing offside all night. Deflected off the head of that back line. Brought down here by Kastashin. Zacharias couldn't get the touch he wanted. Navarro sends it back to Diaz.
Good work from Zacharias nonetheless, of spreading the field, getting up there and being in a really dangerous area. Could have gone very differently.
Garcia undercuts there, and I think he took a little bit of damage, and the foul will go against Los Locos. Zacharias
took a bit of a knock. Looks like no harm, no foul there, though. Good sportsmanship, always good to see at Toyota Field.
Wrapping up the 28th minute. We're knotted up at 1. Tainter heads this one back towards the back line. Garcia is able to catch.
About this El Paso team, once they get moving, pinging the ball around just like this, look at the composure, the calmness here that they have. So much so that there's not many SCFC jerseys in sight. It looks slow, but it's really composed. And this is where they became really dangerous, and a goal resulted pretty quickly after that. So
Kostichin does a good job getting away from Tainter, then Tainter shoves him to the turf. Or the natural grass in this case. And you know, I think Tainter was so aggressively defending him tightly that when he got beat, he just decided, this is what happens when you beat me. Might think twice about it again next time.
Yeah, and I mean,
lucky he didn't get a card there.
Yeah, sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't realize just how aggressive you can be, but that's exactly why he's a defender. That's the defender mentality, and so lucky for him, it wasn't too over the top, and they still have a really nice free kick in a really dangerous position.
At the edge of the attacking third. Kostichin will actually clear out. And the attempt for goal goes well above and away from the upper 90. Goal kick for Jordan Farr.
San Antonio FC is that team that, you know, if they can start getting really physical, pushing other teams around, dictating play, it's really hard to get back into your own flow of things if you're the opposing team. But El Paso seems to be doing a pretty good job of not letting it face them for too long.
And once again, Adeniran has to see the flag, as that one actually seemed about as, I think, close as we've seen all night. But those flags, maybe they're working on the old school offside rules.
You know, it's usually when the ball is played and then you run behind. I would have to see that replay again, but on first look, it didn't feel offsides to me. But again, when you're working with a ref like that, sometimes you have to adapt and move, and that means being really super obvious by just holding on side, maybe a half second longer, and then going for it. Again, easier said than done up here with a bird's eye view.
Oh yeah, but great Los Locos backline communication all evening long, because a lot of those were legitimate. Navarro here couldn't quite beat it to the end line, but it was last touched. Well, looks like Navarro saw that wrong. He thought that went off of SAFC. Instead, it'll be a goal kick, and Jordan Farr doesn't have to worry about the corner. Garcia must not have deflected it off his foot.
You mentioned El Paso's back line, Borelli, Pavkovic, McHugh, Navarro, all such a solid presence there in the back line. Pavkovic having to step up there for Yuma. Center back captain has done a great job of that despite his really young age and filling some big shoes there. Center backs, they tend to lead the rest of the pitch between, you know, the keeper, the center backs. They really dictate the way the game is going to go, and he's been a huge presence there for El Paso.
Dylan trying to pull down, and penalty called for the foul, as instead of pulling down the ball, he pulls down a defender. And he's trying to argue that Cavillo was the one who sort of initiated the contact. He's not going to win this argument.
Don't typically win the arguments with the ref.
I don't think I've seen one overturned. Pavkovic can't quite find his target as Garcia sends it towards the stands. Another El Paso throw-in.
That's why VAR would be ideal here in the USL. Quite a few instances where I think there could be some challenges, but you know, you gotta love the quality traditional game in itself too.
Shannon Gomez couldn't quite intercept that pass. Kostichin will play it to his feet. And then Rose sends it back. Diaz We'll have to deal with the Dennerin closing out on him. Lucho secures the touch here for Los Locos. An outlet down the sideline here. Staying onside, Kostishin. Mitch Tainter right there in step with him. Rose switches the pitch. Sent towards the area, headed out by Fabian Garcia. Hernandez with a long send as he's looking to get this towards Diaz, and Diaz has nothing he can do but send this one out of the stadium.
So close. Someone could have got a free soccer ball in that one.
They were not going to retrieve that one.
Yeah, but I mean, El Paso just doing a great job of movement and creating a lot of havoc there for San Antonio's defense. Not an easy front three to defend, and Gomez, Zacharias, and Kostishin right there up top, just really making things difficult. And that's the kind of soccer that I love to watch because it keeps everyone on their toes.
Conversely, sometimes, as I think you alluded to earlier, the direct style of SAFC is a bit infectious.
That it is, because it starts with the physicality, then it starts with, you start seeing the speed of play and direct style of play, and before you know it, you've blinked and they're in your box. So it's hard to recover from that, to take that pace and to slow it down and to maybe play a more horizontal game with a little bit more patience. That's truly, truly a talent. And I think this El Paso team has that. Evidence here in this 1-1 score.
Dennerin couldn't catch up to the Manley throw, and a long wait here for the goal kick as Diaz tells his back line to push up for the first time tonight. We start the 36th minute here. Gomez plays it with a lot of space, looking for a diagonal pass, easily intercepted there by Pavkovic. Nicely taken away though here. Zuhir tries to chase it down towards the touch and will not be able to.
What a tackle.
Get the tackle, yeah. That one, as we see it from our angle, was Borelli making sure that Zuhir doesn't get another chance for goal. And Dennerin held up right there. That kept him from being able to turn the corner. And a yellow card shown here to McHugh as he took away an opportunity for Dennerin.
Safe, fair call there from the ref. Solid effort from McHugh, no doubt, but once you start getting your hands around the hips and the waist, that's when the ref's going to call it every time. But you know, Borelli, what a fantastic tackle there from him right prior to this. Just coming in big, true captain style. Let's see if he can do it again here.
Well, Dennerin yet to score a goal this season, but he had 12 last year for SAFC. And I'm certain that's something that the Locomotive are well aware of. Dangerous set piece. SAFC trying to retake the lead. Zuhir Hernandez had the options. Zuhir fakes and Hernandez floats this one towards the six. Hit into the back of the net, and another flag comes up as that one takes away a goal from Mitch Tainter.
Oh man, but Tainter on fire, coming out of the blue to get on the end of that one. But another flag, and the entire stadium is on their feet, not happy about this. Let's watch it back. And it looks like he might be about a half step off. It's about when the ball leaves the foot of the person kicking the ball, and again, very close call. We'll say that sideline ref is not San Antonio's biggest fan.
Maloney. And it's deflected off of the defender back to Q as Diaz wanted to scoop that up. Miscommunication leads to the corner kick. Jorge Hernandez already got an assist earlier this evening from the same spot. Sam Dennerin is actually behind the goal line in the net, waiting for a chance here. And Diaz rises above the crowd to make the catch.
Great save, great sticky gloves there from Benny Diaz. One of those guys ranked 5th in the USL for clean sheets. Also 70% save percentage. The development here.
Full head of steam for Rose. Lucho. Back here, Zacharias couldn't quite make the catch, and then the pass, and then it's skied over on the shot attempt. And probably a poor one there to end a dangerous threat by Gomez, who has the only Locomotive goal this evening. I think he was a little eager. He saw a chance to strike and struck too hard.
Yeah, a lot of different options could have come off of that one development. Just the fact that they're creating those opportunities is something San Antonio should be a little concerned about. It's always hard after a corner, you know, everybody's so high, so they're wise to try to get in behind and be direct in that moment. But again, those offsides are just the bane of SAFC existence at the moment.
They've had several opportunities taken away from them. Who knows what the score might be otherwise. Kostichin retreats back. Cavillo sends it all the way to this back line here as they reset the spacing. Playing ahead in Q. Navarro out wide. That knocked away from him by Adeniran. Talk about your forward playing some defense right there.
Right, good hustle to get back on that one.
Something you'll hear a lot of SAFC players say is they play every match like it's their last. So it doesn't matter if you're sort of assigned to be the goal scorer, you're out there playing defense as well.
Right, and I think that's what makes San Antonio FC a next level team, their coverage of each other. I mean, how many times have you seen even Sam Adeniran get back or Jorge get back and almost be in the back line at times? You know, really Abu as well, just energy nonstop. But I'm seeing a lot of the same thing coming from El Paso as well.
Contact and no whistle as Zuhir couldn't fight off Kostichin.
Wise to go with a quick switch on that one. Quick switch is almost always on against SAFC as they're a pretty tight marking team.
Gomez ahead of the pack, dealing with manly defending. Cavillo. Zuhir wins the ball, and then he tries to send it away, but a nice job to keep it in front of him here by Borelli. Sent out by Garcia, who is fighting Omar Batista for first place in USL Championship for clearances, as Batista is available to sub this evening. So there's a chance for Fabian Garcia to become first place in USL Championship. Probably has already done it this evening, to be honest with you, for clearances. Shannon Gomez, a lot of space down the sideline.
He has indeed had quite a bit of big clearances, and we'll see what Shannon does here. Something cooking, it seems.
Gomez taking his time, not really having any pressure, goes for the strike, and Diaz reads it right into his gut.
Talked about Lamar Batista being on the bench, available for substitution here in this game, and that's the thing about SAFC. They've had many different lineups, and really any of those players. I'll finish that thought here in a minute.
Lucho ahead of the pack, a lot of space, one-on-one against Farr. Sends it towards the penalty mark, and then off of the foot of, I believe, the sliding in there, Zacharias. Let's see where the flag is, as this will lead to a corner, as called, last touch by the San Antonio defenders.
Good stuff from Fabian Garcia to get back anyway. Looks like this is after the fact here, trying to drive it in. Had Fabian Garcia not been there, that would have been a goal. So you talk about him trying to lead the team in clearances. I mean, it's the quality of the clearances for me, and they're plentiful from Fabian.
Kostichin lines up this corner. kept away from far. Bounced out by Abu. And all the way to the back line to reset here, Rose. Pulling out of play. Escadillo. Didn't develop the way he wants. Diaz with a reset.
Again, El Paso, it's that team, if you give them a little bit too much space, they're really good about moving up the field in a really pretty way. Lots of movement. Nobody really stuck in their own positions. That's really what makes this team so dangerous and also so nice to watch.
Just a contrast of styles, though, as they're fine, including Diaz as somebody to send kind of back and force the spacing to reset, while if you look at Al Marcina's club, it's almost like you have to run laps if you send it back to Jordan Farr. I think Tainter doesn't even really think about looking at Jordan Farr for a potential pass most of the time, as I say on cue, though. Obviously, I'm talking more in reset situations. Right there, it's a good job here as Farr sends it into the attacking third. Dillon couldn't quite come down to the touch. You thought there was a handball, no whistle, and a loose ball picked up by Rose.
Camera may not have shown it last time, but between Lucho, Zacharias, Kostishin, they were just doing a great job of constant movement. It's really disorienting SAFC's back line. You see here Lucho out wide, even though top striker.
Navarro, defender playing up. And then Kostishin tries for goal, but easily snuffed out by Farr.
And right on cue, as you can see, but anytime Lucho's coming out wide, it's creating a huge gap right there in the center. He has all his other guys running up on it. It's been a couple of opportunities like that. That one, though, looked like it could have closely been a handball, but all good.
Might have to take some time later to see frame by frame if it's important, but probably not, and we just play on. But certainly some of the SAFC players believed it was a handball, and perhaps that's one benefits of only having one referee out there. That's something you need to be right on top of. I don't think the assistants were caught up on the play.
Yeah, and it didn't look too red flaggy to me, so no harm, no foul, I guess they say.
Only 1 minute of stoppage time here, but we're going to have that added on here as Gomez then gets laid out, and then Lucho gets laid out by Tainter, where you might see a red card or two here.
That first foul 100% should have been a red card, and possibly even with Tainter, because after the play, that's a big no-no to touch anybody. But my goodness, Shannon was sent there on that one, still down.
Seconds away from the halftime whistle, and Timber's going to flare into the locker room. And as you mentioned, Shannon Gomez still on the grass. We see here just blindsided.
I mean,
unnecessary.
Hit from behind. You can see, look at his neck. There's no way that was good. And he went into an ice chest or something down there as well. That's on the pitch from the bench.
Looks like only yellow cards are being handed out, though. Gomez able to get up under his own power. And then Tainter came in taking a little bit of exception to what was clearly not a football play. And that's a flop.
Yeah, that was 100% a flop, 100%. You know, I'm going to preface this with I would never want to be a ref because you can't make anyone happy, but I think to only give that a yellow is unacceptable because it's behind the back, it's after the play, it's clearly intentional. Checks all the boxes for a red card for me.
It'll stay in the pocket, though. Looks like Tainter will be given a yellow card, if anything else, for being an agitator. I don't have the official stat in front of me, Katie, but I'm pretty sure Mitch Tainter leads the USL Championship in standing up for his teammates.
That's a great way of saying it. That's a great way of saying it.
Anytime something happens to one of his teammates, he's immediately across the pitch and right involved.
You know, and you would think after the San Diego Loyal game that people would learn to keep quiet maybe, but I will say that was a flop. So it must have been something said after the fact to get a yellow.
Fans letting The officials know how they feel about the lack of a red card. Both teams get to keep 11 on the pitch. And I wouldn't be surprised if that halftime whistle pretty much happens as soon as SAFC is out of the attacking third. Tainter with the throw. Adeniran brings it down. Looking for goal. Back post just couldn't quite bend it past Diaz.
My goodness, if that goal had gone through, that would have been every soccer player's dream. But it looks like that'll be it for the half. Let's have a replay here, though. Outside the boot with the bend, just a foot shy of the post. My goodness, that would have been a great way to end the half.
Well, what a fun first 45 here at Toyota Field. And, oh, man, don't you think about going anywhere, as we're tied at 1 here at Toyota Field. You're watching Valley Sports Southwest. We'll be back with some halftime coverage. We're tied at 1 at halftime here at Toyota Field between SAFC and the El Paso Locomotive. Tonight's Pride Night, and in honor of Pride Month, SAFC and the USL are proud to be committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community and creating a more inclusive and welcoming world for everybody. Soccer is everybody's game. There was a Pride tofu made tonight. Here it will be revealed at Toyota Field by a local artist, as we go ahead and tell you a little bit more about her story.
The important buildings and stuff that celebrate San Antonio's history, but also celebrate gay culture, because as a gay person myself, it feels nice to have my community represented in a place that I love so much. As a kid, I didn't see that a lot, and so it was very hard for me to figure out who I was. And also because soccer is an important part of my family, and the idea of my communities not coming together just wasn't a good feeling. And I want other kids who are into soccer or also gay or anyone just know they have a place anywhere in the world, no matter what. It makes it a lot less hard to do this, because if I was doing this alone, it would just feel very overwhelming and stressful. But because I have so many people helping me, it felt really fun. It's been a really fun thing to do, because not everyone's the same. We have such a great community, and there's so many different types of people in San Antonio. And I want that to really be expressed.
We're knotted up at halftime here at Toyota Field between SAFC and the El Paso Locomotive. I'm Carl Schoening along with Katie Goodman, and if you tuned in for the first 45 minutes, you tuned into a good one. The battle for second place is everything we expected it to be, Katie.
That it is. Tons of physicality, lots of great movement from El Paso. Really no criticisms for me. They're doing great on the offensive side. That quick high step from them, good stuff. San Antonio, they got a lot to talk about at the half. I think for them it's going to be working with maybe more of a zonal defense rather than that man-on-man work that they've been doing.
Let's check out some of the highlights as there's a couple goals, one for each team to check out. Mitchell Tainter getting off the corner. Hernandez getting the assist. That opened up scoring, and then a nice long send leading to the Gomez score as he got ahead of the pack and just a little off his line. Far thought about catching and then decided to try to use his head, and easy open net score. Adeniran hasn't scored yet this season, but he's had some fun opportunities created and some shots that are worth the highlight reel.
Incredible shots, including this last one. Outside the booth, there was a bend. He was going for the lower 90. That's the kind of stuff that you see at the next level. That's why Adeniran is so good. Lots of talent here at SAFC.
Let's check out the first half stats brought to you by HEB. And there's going to be plenty for us to talk about in these stats. But one of the things that I think we wanted to talk about most, that bottom one, 9 fouls to 6, a total of 15 physical matches we've been promoting all evening.
Right, and you know, possession is no shock, right? SAFC is a team that's pretty direct, gets it up pretty quickly there. Passing accuracy, 73% from El Paso Locomotive, very impressive, and something I think that we're all seeing out there in that first half. Now, corner kicks 6-1. If San Antonio can continue to do that in the second half, it's only a matter of time before they can get on the end of it. That is, if they can get past this tricky El Paso defense with that quick step. Perfect execution.
What do you think both teams need to do to capitalize and come away with 3 points here in the second half?
Well, what I had mentioned earlier about SAFC maybe working with more of a zonal defense, El Paso's offense, they've got a lot of movement going. It's hard to keep tabs on them. You have Lucho coming out wide. It opens up the pocket right in the middle, and they've had a couple of opportunities because of that. So working with that and working to just try and stay on side, right? As for El Paso, keep doing what you're doing. Staying
on side is certainly going to be a key for SAFC in the second half. We're halfway through halftime, but hey, stick around, and then the start of the second half here from Toyota Field, not too far away here on Valley Sports Southwest. Less than 5 minutes away from the start of the second half here at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC leads the El Paso Locomotive, or excuse me, we're knotted up at 1 here as both teams certainly have plenty of opportunities. But let's check out the rest of the USL Championship scoreboard as Tampa Bay Rowdies were able to defeat New Mexico United 3-2. Halftime between the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs as they lead Orange County SC 1-0. And a couple games yet to start. Las Vegas Lights will host Monterey Bay. Phoenix Rising FC hosting the Oakland Roots. And one game that's almost about to wrap up. Rio Grande Valley FC trails the Miami FC 3-2. We have a start of second half when we come back here on Valley Sports Southwest. San Antonio FC Soccer is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Fun first 45 in the books. We're about to get rolling on the next 45 as these two teams are duking it out for sole possession of second place. A draw or a victory will keep El Paso Locomotive in second place and build on their lead. Currently 2 points against SAFC, who, if they can come away with a victory, they'll be ahead by 1. I'm Carl Schoening along with Katie Goodman. And while these two teams are getting ready to kick off, you can check out the goal score summary. Mitch Tainter at the beginning of the 4th minute was able to head it in off a corner. And then Aaron Gomez was able to read a long ball by McHugh and get ahead of the pack for an empty net score in the 11th.
Lots of drama happening early on, right? And, you know, SAFC tried to return the favor quite a few times, but pesky El Paso defense keeps catching them offsides. Could have been a very different result, but you know that is the nature of the game, and that's what the sideline ref is there for. So calling SAFC offside. Let's see if they can do something a little different here in this second half. All great quality opportunities though from San Antonio FC.
SAFC gets the kickoff to start the second half, and immediately a foul called here as Dylan was trying to go for the ball, and I think he took a shot to the back of his head, and no cards being shown there, but it was Borelli who collided with him, and a great spot here for a cross.
Right, and the jump was a little early, and so I think maybe that's probably where the miscommunication came from, so to speak, and was at his back. So good call there from the ref with the free kick, but not the card.
That's the 7th foul called against the Locomotive. 9 first half fouls against SAFC. Zuhir looking for the 6 and couldn't quite make contact and just missed the foot of Dylan, which probably would have found goal for SAFC.
Unlucky there for Dylan, just missing his forehead there on that one, and seems to be the name of the game for him recently, just near misses. But I think once he can get that ball in the back of the net, sometimes just that alone helps. I mean, diving header early on, a few minutes in. sideline ref has his flag up.
Before SAFC even touches here, as he still has his flag up, and now finally it's being acknowledged. And that was really odd because the Locomotive were actually going with Pavkovic for the goal kick and kept it to Diaz, so there was no SAFC player behind either of those two, but the flag came up right on the goal kick. And yeah, maybe there's a little communication that needs to happen here before we resume, I guess, as once again our center official is Alexis De Silva, and I guess we'll just try the goal kick once more instead of an offside being called against SAFC. Maybe it wasn't the 10 yards required, as Dylan says that he's behind the 18 and he's making sure that Alexis De Silva knows this time around. Pavkovic, plenty of space here to send it to Diaz, who now has to deal with pressure from Dylan.
Yeah, not too sure what to make of that. SAFC back winning that 50-50 as it is. Name of their game.
Shannon Gomez tried to get loose down the sideline, and Rose was able to knock it away into a touch here for Los Locos. Cavillo dribbling away from Abu. Liam Rose. And being tripped up right there was Zacharias. Quick restart. Sent out wide, the chip will be cleared out, and it goes right back to Borelli. Borelli sends it to the penalty area. Borelli once again, this time in the penalty arc, nobody there to receive, and offside flag up this time against the Locomotive, and free kick for SAFC.
And also thank the San Antonio crowd for that one. Voices raised, people on their feet wondering, hey, is the ref going to call this? Is he going to see the flag over there on the side? And it's the benefit of playing at home, right?
It's a great crowd every match here at Toyota Field. Very loyal San Antonio crowd coming out to support their defending USL champions and Copa Tejas shield. And Adeniran almost had a beat on the ball but couldn't quite catch up to it.
Nice little diagonal pass there. It's always hard to get on the end of it when it's coming from behind at such a steep angle, but good work there nonetheless.
Omar Batista checked in at halftime. He didn't get the start. He was available on the sub, and certainly somebody that SAFC is going to enjoy his fresh legs on defense. He gets the throw here. Showing off his fresh arm too. Navarro heads it towards Maloney, and Maloney to the back line of El Paso. And then Maloney commits the foul here as he pushes Aaron Gomez down. Quick restart for Los Locos, and Rose will send it wide. Now down to the foot here, Bucho. Bucho trying to get past Maloney. He's physical defensively, and then some space as Bucho got it with the elbow, and now Hernandez needs to be careful with the extracurricular afterwards. He's being held up by our referee, and we'll see. Maloney seems to have taken a hit. He's a tough guy. He doesn't hit the grass easily, so Bucho will be whistled for the foul, and that'll end the threat for El Paso.
You can see just got a little bit tangled there. Hand got up, hit him in the face. I'd say going both ways on that one. Lots of physicality. Jorge coming in, making sure his presence is known as well.
Even on the dead ball, right?
Yeah. But you know, Connor Maloney actually had his hand up on that one, calling it as an offside, but it was a no-go, and that free kick really worked out for him there.
Maloney certainly isn't going to allow the officials to dictate his passion playing defensively. Made sure that Lucho didn't have a clean touch and forced that awkward sort of swing of the arm that got the foul call. Borelli decides to send it back to Diaz. Diaz out of the box. We're working towards space. McHugh Fabian Garcia sends that into touch. Hustling to it, Zacharias. And I think Zacharias thought better of anything too quick will allow somebody else to handle it. Navarro.
Too many black jerseys, needed a little bit more time to get his guys up there.
Casillas couldn't quite send it in, and Castellan, I should say, couldn't quite send it in, and now possession won back here by El Paso. Nice block by the back line of SAFC. And then Hernandez and a little bit of Borelli. Disagreement on who the throw was in favor of, and we'll sort the chest-to-chest action out before the throw eventually comes to El Paso.
I'd say nothing less than what we expected.
And look who's right there to defend his teammate, Mitch Tainter.
In true Mitch fashion. Mitch, guy who could have had 2 goals today, had one of them not been offside.
First goal of the match scored in the opening second of the 4th minute. And Hernandez then shuts down one more. Once again, Gomez.
Good call from the ref there. Tensions are rising. You know, this Locomotive team likes to move up top, so let's see how SAFC handles this dangerous kick here.
Once again, El Paso has not scored on a set piece. Looks like they're going to go for a Navarro sent from way outside the box. Maloney sent that into the air, and then a couple SAFC defenders keeping it away from Jordan Farr. William Rose with a lot of space near midfield. Cadillo. Nice through ball. Rose leaves it, and a Zacharias strike goes wide.
Great work there from Zacharias. He's just done a good job of keeping his wingers, you know, tapped in and connected to the middle of the pitch there by coming in with that supporting run, and a great look even there through traffic. Little wide. Farr was there just in case. No go there for Zacharias.
Farr waits for his back line to pretty much go towards midfield. Off the head of a Dinnerin, and then nobody around for Diaz to worry about on the catch. Batista runs into Kostashin, and we play on. And a strike goes wide and left. As Lucho still looking for his first goal this evening. Probably his best chance right there. Not a clean first touch, and then that strike. And if he had brought that down just a little bit, fraction of a second longer, might have had the goal.
Right, one of those guys, you cannot give him that kind of time and space on the ball. It's really dangerous, and I think gave SAFC a bit of a skip of a heartbeat there in that one. Lucky for them, it went wide, but again, it's just a hard front 3 and 4 to defend. It's all that movement up top.
Dillon had it knocked away from him as Borelli sends it into touch. Connor Maloney sends it to Dillon, who gets double teamed and loses the handle. And then clipping while going for the tackle there. Hernandez might be shown a yellow card. Indeed, he will. And probably the right call.
Right call, I'd say, also partly because of attitude. You know, I think if he hadn't tried to bow up and do the big tough walk off, he might have gone out with not such a big foul. Let's look at it here.
Yeah,
it is a little late.
Well,
driving in, yeah, that's a yellow.
Gomez gets blindsided right there. And
just as the other Shannon Gomez did earlier in that first half.
That's right. Well, not quite as bad, but
not quite as bad.
We mentioned just how these two teams certainly been picking up plenty of fouls and yellow cards this evening. Let's remind you of the standings as on the line tonight. SAFC looking for 3 points to put them in sole possession of second place, while El Paso Locomotive looking to remain unbeaten. They've won 10 in a row. They've won 7 in a row. They have a 10-game unbeaten streak.
You know, if Locomotive beat SAFC, they'll be 5th in USL history for winning streaks and 4 road match wins in a row. If they get 5 tonight, they'll be tied in 4th in USL history. So a big game for them. Lots of reasons to try to win this one tonight.
Gomez had knocked away from him by Rose. Abu couldn't come up with the loose ball, and the counter is on here. Kostichin sends it wide. Zacharias looking for a play. Into the box, takes it out. Rose switches the pitch. Borelli. Down the sideline here to Gomez, and Aaron Gomez is tripped up by Maloney. The SAFC fans obviously disagree, thinking that that was just a good old physical fight for the ball.
You have to watch that back here. As you can see, a bit of a clip of the ankle. So I think what he's calling is that first little clip there. He was trying to give him the run of play advantage, but had to call it back whenever he saw he wasn't able to complete the play.
Kostichin looking for a cross here. Conversely, it could be kept short by Cavillo. Kostichin sends it towards back post, off the head, and then Tainter sends this into the stands. A corner kick.
Better into the stands than into the goal, because that's where it was heading. Some solid work there again from El Paso. Let's see what they can do with this corner kick here. As you recall from that first half, SAFC beat out El Paso in corners, and a lot of times that's indicative of the way the game's going to go. But let's see what they do here.
Cavillo will do the honors as he sends Kostichin short. And a little bit of disagreement on some space around the goal line as before we get this corner kick underway. McHugh. Will be marked there by Zuhir. And now the go-ahead is given. Once again, kept short. Kostichin. He tries the cross. Over the head of Maloney and then off of the foot there of Vincent Pavkovic. Goal kick for Jordan Farr and SAFC.
Trying to catch him on the quick turnaround here. Not quite successful. It's a good save there from El Paso.
Carano and Nico Hansen ready to check in for SAFC in the next substitution window. Here's a through ball to Adeniran. He has a one-on-one against Diaz, and he gets it past Diaz for the goal. Adeniran's first goal of the season puts SAFC ahead.
Great goal there for Adeniran, doing it in big fashion when they need him most, just like in the playoffs. There's a guy leading the stat sheet with goals, and he did it here again, and it was that movement. Great work there from Justin Dillon. He just doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes because of Justin Dillon. Take a look back at this. He wins the ball. He sees the space. He feeds it through. Adeniran runs on, and then it's good. He has that composure. Once Adeniran has the ball and has the space, there's no looking back.
It looks like Liam Rose was trying to take the tactical foul, and a nice play there by Alexis De Silva to allow SAFC to play to the advantage. Leads to Adeniran's first goal of the season. Somebody who scored 12 last year with SAFC gets his first tonight, and it's a big one in the 60th minute.
Again, doing great work there for San Antonio FC. Looks like he's going to take a break now as Hansen fills the big space that he has just left.
Adeniran soaking it in, though, as he was probably about to be subbed out anyway, and he goes out of the match in style. Let's go to the opposite side of the pitch from the SAFC bench to get some applause from the SAFC fans.
Said it once and I'll say it again, SAFC has quite the deep bench. Any one of those players on the bench could be a starter at any program. But here, they're one of the best teams in the league, and sometimes you gotta wait your turn to get your shot. And when you get your turn, that's exactly what you gotta do. You've got to take your shot, and that's something that Sam Adeniran is great at doing. A lot of competition there with Oluwaseyi up front, but between those two and Dylan and even Nico Hansen here, a little smoke in the way. Too much celebration there.
Crocketeers certainly have fun, and what they call the bunker. They always release some smoke after score at the start of the match, and I think that might have cost a threat there for SAFC, as they've done a good job maintaining possession, but a foul will be called against SAFC and a free kick here for the Locomotive.
Yeah, anytime there's a lot of smoke in the area, it's hard, no matter who you are, whether you're defending or attacking, kind of lose sight of the goal at times.
Lucho trips up, Tainter takes advantage, and the through ball. Hansen couldn't quite get it, and then Diaz punches it out. Comes down to Gomez. I think SAFC is saying that Diaz used his hands outside the box and no stoppage of play coming.
That's exactly what he's saying. Got the coaching staff and
then Farr has to come out of the box and send it into the stands. And he took some damage as there was a big collision. And Lucho also down. Two key players for both teams. Gonna have to pause on the pitch for it.
Huge clearance there from Farr. You expect nothing less from kamikaze-like goalkeeper.
And just moments before this happened, there was a play here outside the box, and this is right where we think that he might have used his hand right on that 18-yard line. Tough to tell from that angle.
It was right on the line, and so I think that's up to the ref's call on that one.
And I think a little bit of a knee to knee at full speed between Farr and Lucho. It looks like actually Farr is holding on to his shin. Always tough to take those shots on the shin. Lucho's still on the grass as well. Farr and Lucho will have to try and continue. This will add on to the stoppage time as we just wrapped up the 64th minute.
High-speed collisions are so tough because on camera it doesn't look so bad, but you got to realize these guys are going at the fastest pace that they can in that moment, and so even a small clip is really, really painful. And Dylan there not happy at all with that situation. Seems a bit of slippiness on the pitch too. We've seen a couple of guys slip here and there, and Dylan one of those in that last situation. Could make things a little more difficult. Could have kept his feet, but again, a close call.
Well, Lucho's up, but Farr taking his time here while we have a moment. Let's go ahead and show you the next 5 matches for San Antonio FC. As they wrap up a 3-game homestand tonight, they go back out to face the San Diego Loyal SC, their first game back. Then a big match against Sacramento Republic FC, currently in first place in USL Championship. Then they return home July 1st against Birmingham Legion. Again, Memphis on the road and El Paso Locomotive to wrap up their 2-game series against El Paso, as that time it'll be out west at the edge of the state. Farr's back up, and it looks like he'll be the one awarded the free kick here, should he elect to take it. Shannon Gomez saying, "You're all right, I can do this if you want."
Still looking like he's trying to walk it off. You know, it's hard for keepers because you have to be so explosive so quickly off your feet. And, you know, if you've got a knock like that, sometimes it's like a shock of pain whenever you try to jump off your toes. I've been there, done that before, speaking from experience. We'll look back at it here, and, yep, it was a knee to the ankle on that one. Good to see both players standing, though. Good to see Lucho back in it. He's waiting there on the sideline, trying to make his way back in.
Yeah, Lucho will be held up for just a moment here, and Farr, I think, wants to get the fans involved here as he asks them to pump up. And our 4th official, Velimir Stefanovic, wants to call over our center official, Alexis De Silva, as he's the one responsible for allowing Lucho to re-enter the match. So I guess, impatience coming from the fans here. And a yellow card called on SAFC's bench. I couldn't quite tell you what it might be, but, you know, it seems like a Oprah type of yellow card night. Everyone gets a yellow card.
One for you, one for you.
I think you and I might get one by the end of the night, Katie.
Hey man, you never know. It would be a first for me, that's for sure. But you know, coaches get into it just like everyone else, and there's been some kind of sketchy calls, so to speak, and you can't blame them.
Batista had a nice lead, but once again, the backline communication of the Locomotive draw the flag up for offside. Justin Dillon, how many opportunities has he had tonight if that fraction of a second difference is in his favor?
But again, you see it doesn't slow him down. He keeps going at it regardless, and even creating opportunities for other players just the same way he did for Sam Adeniran on that one, who was able to capitalize. Lucky for SAFC.
Lucho being guarded by Batista here. Lucho sends it towards the net, and then it will be punched out by Jordan Farr.
What a save from Farr. I couldn't tell by looking at that jump that his ankle's bothering him.
He's certainly running on adrenaline like pretty much everybody else.
Yep. Let's take a look back at it here. Nice driven ball in. He gets a glove on it just over the crossbar. It's exactly what you want to do in that situation. Pop it over the top, out of pressure, out of danger, and reset.
The corner being chased down here as Pirano briefly got his first touch of the match, and the fresh legs chasing all the way back to Benny Diaz. Liam Rose will have to retreat away.
Pirano doing a good job there, trying to hustle, get that high press going. Paso doing a great job getting out of pressure.
Lucho showing that he's moving all right as well. Sends it out wide. Kostashin right to Lucho. Lucho at the 6. And it's nicely parried away by Farr. Corner kick coming up for Los Locos.
Nice save from Farr, but they also had a runner coming in at the top of the 18 in that space there. Ref somewhat in the way of that passing lane, so kind of made it difficult. But if you look back here, he gets in, top of the line, tries to drive it in, and wins the corner.
Cavillo leaves it short. Kostashin. Diagonal pass out to Navarro. Navarro will strike outside the box, skies it over the crossbar.
Again, maybe you could lean over that one a little bit. That would have been quite the zinger of a shot. Great work there from him.
Herrera and Lyons about to check into the match here. Luis Herrera, the midfielder, and Miles Lyons, defensive player who there was a little bit of confusion. I think perhaps a Freudian slip by Brian Clarehout to put originally Miles Lyons in the starting lineup. He comes out here for Kostashin. And Herrera now enters the match. A counter for some substitutes made earlier by SAFC.
Usually when you see one team subbing, the other team is soon to follow.
Zacharias. Aaron Gomez. Methodical play here being developed as Patkovic sends it all the way back to the penalty arc. Diaz likes to go to his right side.
They have it on with a big switch over here on the left. They're pretty adamant about going down that right side.
And a foul here is Nico Hansen. Didn't quite get the ball.
Unlucky there, but good sportsmanship from Hansen.
William Rose with some space. Gomez couldn't get the first touch his direction. Picked up here by Hernandez. Jorge Hernandez knocked away from him. He's chasing it down to the touchline, and then he did not quite push Gomez down. Gomez trying to go for the ball, lost his footing, and he's the last one to touch it. SAFC throw.
It's one of those moments where you're kind of expecting to get a body check as you're both going 50-50 for that ball, but Perano just a step behind. Ended up checking the air there, falling on his own.
Appreciate that. It's actually Perano there. And now the Maloney throw. Perano wins the joust and sliding down for Borelli. Keeps it in play. Abu. Maloney splits the defenders, and then he's tripped up. No whistle play on here. Perano at the end line. Had his cross deflected away. Maloney trying to box out. And a 50-50 ball yet to be won there as Hansen's tripped up trying to get to it.
It's one of those moments where everyone in the stadium is on the edge of their seat because so many things happening there in that corner. I mean, you're waiting for someone to get laid out, or you're waiting for someone to take a shot or do something tricky, and therein Nico Hansen able to draw the foul. Short corner, so to speak, this free kick.
Rita Zuhir. Looks like he's looking for far post as nobody's really lined up between Diaz and the near post. And PC looking to see if he can get a substitution window.
PC, one of those guys who makes a notable difference. Whenever he's in the game and SAFC is up, they almost always win. One of those odd, interesting statistics. Rita Zuhir taking a seat. What a great job from him.
Yeah, Rita Zuhir gets an applause from the crowd, and he loses the opportunity on the set piece thanks to the substitution window, and PC enters the match. You know, dating back to 2021, SAFC is 45-0-8 when they score first. I was going to tell you that interesting stat way back at the beginning when they first scored, but we're going to see if they can capitalize on that unbeaten streak. And the cross goes well far and ricochets across the end line, and a corner kick here for SAFC on the other side.
Solid defense from El Paso and solid pressure there from SAFC. I'd like to see a little bit more movement in these situations. But again, they don't seem to have too much trouble on corners as we've seen. They're doing something right, but you know, talk about the statistics. It's hard to keep them all straight sometimes. They're winning so much. They have how many trophies now? I mean, it's easy to lose track.
It's a fun time to be an SAFC fan. PC looking towards the 6, nobody there to receive the pass. Abu chases down the loose ball. Maloney had a tackle here by Gomez, and Gomez sparks the counter. Gomez being chased down by PC, loses his footing, loose ball, and no whistle. Gomez sends it the other direction.
Great work from Gomez, but looking like PC paid for it on that one. What a great track down and clean tackle. It's hard to do that from behind. It's quite acrobatic feat to do, and did a good job there and running through the pain. As we know, he's missed a couple of games due to injury, just barely getting some minutes last game, trying to ease him into it. It's Coach Marcina. So one thing about PC, he comes in, he makes a difference from the get-go.
Tainter heads this towards midfield where it's picked up by Justin Dillon. He's looking ahead here. Hansen at the 18. Trying to get past Diaz, who does a good job to block the shot. And Hansen loses the handle.
Great work there from Dillon. Maybe holding the ball a smidge too long. There's Hansen. Had he hit that first or second touch, it'd be a different story, but great work from Benny Diaz. Closing him down with a quickness.
Diaz looking to remain among one of the top 10 goalkeepers in USL Championship. Maloney sends it ahead for Abu, and Abu can't chase that down before it goes across the end line. SAFC with a 2-1 lead and more substitutions here as entering the match is Sinupe as well as Nicholas Hines.
Nick Hines was actually one of the first interviews I ever did on an MLS podcast that I used to have way back in the day before my broadcast career took off. And I will say this, he is a great guy, great person to talk to, has an incredible story, and really something to look into if you have the time. He used to play for Austin Bold, and then as we know, Austin FC came in and Bold decided to close shop. Good to see that he's playing in another Texas team.
Herrera comes up with the ball as he beats Pirano to it. Sinupe sends it wide right. Here's Hines sending it back. Lucho sends it into the back of the net. Nicely deflected off his foot. And we're tied up at 2.
What a world-class goal there from Lucho. You can see it in his expression. We have got to see that back. I mean, it was only a matter of time for El Paso, the beauty that they had coming out of the back. You had Hines stirring things up, and then it gets wide, and Lucho on the end of it easy, coming in right through the seams. Picture perfect.
Lions with the assist. Lucho, as we mentioned, has had pretty much an SAFC defender on him every time he has the touch. And so close right there as Luis Lucho Sognac ties us up in the 78th minute.
It's got a few too many spaces there between SAFC's back line. Lucho taking advantage of that. Again, one of those guys you can't sleep on, but quite the balanced attack. We talked about that a lot for SAFC, but that's what El Paso has going for them. There's a reason they're in that number 2 spot. Now it's back to square one here. Anything can happen in these remaining minutes.
Tainter. Had it sent back into the defensive half of the pitch for El Paso on his header. Herrera dribbling around now as we work it outside here to Hines.
Have a nice big switch across the field.
Hines down the touchline. And it'll go back to Hines. Cavillo.
Nice dummy. Read there by Shannon.
Gomez breaks up the threat for the moment. Batista hot on Rose's case as he had to get rid of it quick and then throw him to the ground. No flag there, or no whistle there, as looks like a play on. Quickly back on his feet, Lions. From our angle, it looked like there might have been contact. The official might have saw it differently on the field.
Seems like the players thought so too. Everyone kind of stopped, was waiting for a call, but they said play on.
Pavkovic pushes it forward, but unable to handle the touch there. Sinupe. Counter the other direction for Hansen. Hansen into the area. Couldn't quite get the low cross as Dylan was there on the run, and it's knocked out play for throw.
Intention was there, but Nico Hansen with that insane speed, exactly what Coach Marcina recruited him for. Those guys, he said, he feels really confident in this lineup because of his speed and direct style of play. We saw it there, just couldn't quite get the service off that he wanted. Also was defended extremely well despite having beat the outside back.
Tainter throws it towards the 6. Dylan gets a touch on it, and then it's sent back by Diaz, and I think we have a foul. No, we would not have a foul in the box. There was some pleading for it. I thought I heard a whistle, but Diaz comes up clean.
For a minute there, I thought the same, but not quite.
Sevilla will leave it here for Sinupe. Trying to establish their tempo. El Paso Locomotive now look back towards the goal. Lions have already had an assist earlier to the Lucho goal. Lions gets it right back on a one-touch from Gomez. Hines. Great passing. Lucho had the tackle taken away from him by Tainter. And then Abu sends it long, looking for an outlet here to Hansen, and Nico Hansen pulls it down, but the defense gets back. Hansen tries to turn the corner. Couldn't quite get past the really good defense there, and then a tackle by Pavkovic.
He's in a tough position, needed his support there. Pirano got there when he could. Understandable call. Bit of aggression there from Pirano.
Too physical on the defense for Pirano. And he'll have to back up here to give some space for the free kick. Back line will push way up here for Diaz to do the honors.
Locomotive's doing a great job of dictating play. I mean, of course, they've got all the possession percentages on their side, but they're doing a great job with that possession. They're doing a great job of creating quality opportunities and just playing some quality soccer. SAFC getting a little tired. Let's see if they can keep up.
Rose has played all match. Lions, one of the subs. Rose had it deflected off of Shannon Gomez, and it's worked back to the back line. Rose looking to switch the pitch. For what it's worth, Herrera's on our roster, but Chapa is the back of the jersey for 20. Here's Sinupe with a good chance, but then it's broken up. Nicely done by Batista and Maloney, and then Farr sends it towards midfield, and then a foul will be called here on the loose ball by Pavkovic. Knocking over Hansen, trying to win possession. Yeah, we'll have to check that out, as I was not aware if Herrera also goes by Chapa.
Luis Chapa Herrera, that's him, from El Paso, Texas, actually, a native. Born and raised there, no previous club history, so not exactly a homegrown, but came on and made his presence known, as we've seen there.
I should have studied the Katie Goodman cheat sheet a little bit more, as I have a friend whose last name is Chapa, so that was what I was thinking back to, that it's a last name, not a perhaps a stage name, if you will.
Yeah, stage name, you know, tomato,
nickname.
tomato.
You have to call him Chapa the rest of the match, as Hansen sends it over the end line. Goal kick here for Benny Diaz. And I hope I wasn't confusing anybody who knows Luis Sognac by his legal name, as he goes by Lucho on the pitch. And that's what he has on the back of his jersey.
Quite a tongue twister to say 5 times fast, so appreciative he went with Lucho on that one. Made it easy for us broadcasters.
Play on, as there was a physical fight for the ball. Hansen.
Play on, lots of pulling behind the jersey there on Hansen from Nick Hines.
Tainter off target on the throw. Fabian Garcia heads it in the direction SAFC wants to go, and then Pirano sends it into space. Nobody there to chase after it, and perhaps a ill attempt there by McHugh to send it in the Locomotive direction. Attacking third throw in here for Maloney and SAFC. Maloney looking for Hansen. Hansen gets some space, loses his dribble, and nicely taken away there by Hines.
Solid physicality there from Hines. A lot of people up in arms on that one, but I think it was just really solid physical presence there from him on that one. Hines, a guy who spent some time at Nashville SC. This field actually loaded with previous MLS experience. Between Seattle Sounders, rather, St. Louis City. I mean, across the board, lots of good stuff.
We have a stoppage of play as there's an SAFC player down in some serious pain, way away from the play. It's Hansen. And hopefully he's okay. I didn't see anything that could have happened. This might be an unfortunate non-contact injury, and immediately a substitute's coming in as SAFC will, oh, that's not a sub, well, I beg your pardon. Looking for the sub list here for SAFC. I did not see a number 7, but it's Juan Carlos Azacar, who looked like he was ready to have his number called. Azacar might be coming into the match here, and I think I saw him getting ready to come in, but he wasn't on our initial lineup card.
One of those guys who's, you know, offensive midfielder, can also play that same role as Nico Hansen. Nico might be cramping in this moment. Looks like he's got the trainer down there trying to help him breathe through it, waving on, saying yes. Probably going to need someone to come on in his place. Azacar, one of those guys who can do it. So far, an assist on the season. Had 35 matches with Oakland Roots prior to this. Started 34 of those and 10 goals as well, but was mostly on the defensive side for them, but could still put it in the net. So one of those guys who brings a lot of variation to this SAFC side. He's Venezuelan, and he's on loan right now from Deportivo La Guaira FC. Also spent some time at RGB FC, so a guy with a lot of experience.
And they say be ready to play at any moment on that bench. He's in for his second match of the season. As you mentioned, the only stat he really has recorded is the assist. Azacar from Venezuela will be ready to play here once, hopefully, Nico Hansen is able to leave the field
really
under his own power.
Yeah, really concerning here for Nico Hansen. Not often you see someone bring the stretcher out to carry him off, but good news, looks like he's starting to get up, trying to walk things off.
Our Stella camera crew was able to see that non-contact injury, as actually it was a little bit of contact, and I think at the end there he sort of
seemed to be okay in that
the
contact. It was something after the fact, which tells me it might be a cramp.
The cramp idea sounds right here, as he's able to eventually get up under his own power. But yeah, you're right. Whenever you see a stretcher come out, it's a scary moment, and that'll add on quite a bit of stoppage time, but a sigh of relief for SAFC fans. Hopefully Hansen will be good to go on the upcoming road trip for SAFC. And I suppose we'll have a drop ball here to resume play as soon as Azacar comes in.
Azacar, Pepe ready to go. Again, it's a tough lineup to come into, especially so late in the game. We're going into extra time, and let's see if he can fulfill that explosiveness that Nico Hansen brings to the table, that speed. Maybe mix things up a bit and try to help break this equalizer.
And it looks like we'll add 7 minutes to the final 90.
7 minutes is a good check of time.
Someone's looking for a game winner here. Maloney trying to force the issue, and it's punched out by Diaz. Offside flag raised once again against SAFC as Azacar, fresh legs, wanted to get right into it.
Not many teams that have had success defending San Antonio, but El Paso, they seem to have it down with that quick step. Their back line, fantastic communication. It's one of those moments where you spend so much time playing together in a back line that you can almost read what people are thinking before it's even done, and that's kind of the vibes I'm getting here from El Paso. But even with substitutions like Nick Hines coming in the mix, Miles Lyons, they fit right in.
Hines able to create some space away from Fabrano, and nobody there to receive his long cross. Shannon Gomez trying to chase it down, and I think he was able to not touch it and cut off Lyons, and Lyons might have had a little bit of contact afterwards. SAFC awarded the throw. Batista. Lyons wins the loose ball. Sanupe had knocked away from him by Fabian Garcia. And then Shannon Gomez lost his footing, leads to this Locomotive development. Hines sends it out to Aaron Gomez. Aaron Gomez near the corner. Squared up on by PC. Cavillo. And Hines knocks it away from PC, and this might be a card as PC is down and a foul. No card out.
See what PC was doing there. Great read on his part. Hoping to shield the ball out, but Hines still trying to win it on that one. Not a clear yellow, but definitely along the lines there of a sketchy foul.
I think we've met our yellow card quota for the evening.
Don't speak too soon. Anything could happen.
Sometimes when you don't call a yellow card, that's a bit of a spectrum that opens up for more physical play. Maloney with the throw-in. Sukar tries to back heel it, and nobody there to try and catch up to it. And then just a poor pass as that one goes into touch for an SAFC throw. Maloney sends it towards the 6. Bicycle kick goes over the crossbar, and tell you what, Sukar has certainly been an exciting substitution in his call to action here to come in after Hansen.
That he has, and talk about the acrobatics. I mean, we saw from Lamar Batista, but hey, he's really going for it here, and he almost had it miss-hit off the outside of the cleat. There is what popped it up and over, but my goodness, had he connected with that ball, that could have been a goal.
Winner. That would have been an insane, perhaps a
Sports
goal
Center
of the
top
year.
10.
Yeah, candidate. A little more than halfway through the added 7 minutes. We'll see how much is added on to that 7 minutes, though, because the injury went through the 90-minute mark. Maloney into the attacking half, and Sukar tried to win possession, and no whistle to stop play and potentially benefit him. Well offside, but no flag up at the moment as Sukar couldn't come down with it. Nicely done by McHugh to send it into touch. SAFC will try and catch up.
I'm surprised he didn't get that call early on. Pavkovic giving him a nice big old bear hug there from behind. Made things difficult for him to turn. Refs seem to turn a blind eye to that. Now we've got Nacho Bailoni.
Bailoni will come in for Justin Dillon.
And again, a great effort there from Dillon. Fantastic work, both creating stuff and even creating his own opportunities. Just unlucky there for him.
Bailoni with 3 goals, second on SAFC this season, and it looks like he's going to get involved in the play right away. The tall Bailoni couldn't quite head it in the direction of the crossbar. And do we have a foul in the box? As looks like, no, it'll be called a corner kick. I thought it was off the head of Bailoni, but it'll be awarded here to SAFC.
That's what I think even Nacho Bailoni thought as well. And whenever the ref called it to the corner, he happily accepted.
PC. We'll try it again. Nicely sent out by Pavkovic. PC looking to send the corner in off his left foot. And this time it's Rose sending it into touch off his head. Throw for PC. Leaves it here for Batista.
Batista known for his long throw. Feels like a corner.
Batista certainly puts a lot of air underneath it, and it goes off Bailone's head, and Diaz pushes it to the ground.
Good effort there from Bailone. Good pressure as well. El Paso hoping to keep this tie. I think they can feel the onslaught of pressure here from SAFC. They tend to turn it up a notch in these final minutes.
Perhaps the final moments of the game here. Diaz sends it long towards SAFC's back line. Lucho fighting off PC. And throw here for SAFC. Get the feeling, if it's not this last attacking chance, the next one will be the final opportunity for either team to get the game winner. And it looks like foul in the action of the throw as Bailone hits the grass, and set piece opportunity. SAFC.
Have to take advantage of every single one of these set pieces, especially in these final moments.
Abu always in the top 10 in USL Championship opportunities created. McHugh heads it high, and that'll be the final whistle. We have a draw, and El Paso Locomotive are able to get the tie here. Final score from Toyota Field, 2-2. San Antonio FC are on the road Wednesday as they take on San Diego Loyal SC. Next home game is Saturday, July 1st at 8 p.m. versus Birmingham Legion FC. Pride Night wraps up with a 2-2 draw here. For Katie Goodman, I've been Carl Schoening. Thank you for joining us tonight on Valley Sports Southwest. With the final from Toyota Field, SAFC 2, El Paso Locomotive 2. The following has been a presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment. Good night, everybody.